Welcome to Audiobook Connection, the weekly podcast that pulls back the curtain on the audiobook world. I'm your host, Becky Parker-Geist, and we're here to help authors, narrators, and listeners connect more deeply with the stories they love. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Audiobook Connection and the series that I'm doing on the ultimate audiobook launch. So we've covered a lot of territory in the first 3 episodes that are a part of this series. And so I'm not going to try and recap all of those. We're going to move ahead. I'm Becky Parker-Geist. I'm excited to have you with me today. We're going to talk now, as we continue this series, we're going to move into some additional ways that you can be using this launch strategy to get your audiobook out there in a big way. So marketing your new audiobook launch. Where we're picking up with is activating your existing audience ecosystem. You probably already have some following. You may not think of it that way if you're a new author and you haven't really gotten started on your marketing process overall, but you probably have some existing audience ecosystem. That could be your friends and family. It could be some group that you're part of. Or you may be much further along in the process and you may have groups that you're part of and a mailing list. You may have a following on different social media platforms. So what we want to do at this point is we really want to activate that existing set of followers. And how we do that is a number of ways. So one is that you can mention the audiobook in newsletters that you may be sending to your email list or blog posts that you're doing, either for a blog that you run yourself or if you can't have a friend or colleague with a blog or someone that you may be able to reach out to and ask to guest blog. That's a way where you can get a mention in on blog posts. Perhaps you do some speaking. If you are out doing a speaking engagement, that's a moment where you can also mention your audiobook. Interviews that you may be on, if you're a guest on a podcast, for example, these are all good times to mention your audiobook. And when I say mention, I'm not really talking about the idea of buy my audiobook, buy my audiobook. We're not trying to be the bullhorn. We're trying to be the ones who are sharing the stories and the tales that are going to draw people to your content and you specifically. So you might be sharing little stories about the experience of having your audiobook produced, or if you recorded it yourself, that process. People love to hear about the behind-the-scenes stories. Now, that said, you still do want a call to action and the information for them about how they can access your audiobook. And of course, ideally, it will be on AMPlify Audiobooks, where you'll earn much higher royalties, as well as being able to communicate directly with your followers right on the platform in many different ways. Okay, what's another way to activate your existing audience ecosystem? You can add your link to your audiobook, again, ideally, if it's on AMPlify, to your email signatures. Add it into your bios so that wherever you have your bio going out, that it's included there as well. If you send out any press releases, you'll definitely want to include it there. Other ways are a little bit more passive in some ways in that you can update a website banner or landing pages on your website, making sure that the link for buying the audiobook is where you want them to go. Another area of your launch strategy is building partnerships with aligned communities. Now, depending on your content, That's going to differ a lot, whether you're doing fiction or nonfiction, whether you're having a particular genre. These are all going to affect what these aligned communities might be. But you might, depending on your content, it might be appropriate to try to collaborate with nonprofits or educators or niche communities, whether that might be book clubs that love sci-fi, for example, or advocacy groups, especially if you have a content that is driving a narrative or is helping people better understand a certain kind of content. So these may be tied to the book's themes or content or genre, typically. You could use discount codes as a part of this audiobook launch strategy. For example, you might have a memoir, and the telling of your story is the telling of how you coped with and overcame a particular disease or physical challenge. And let's say it's muscular dystrophy, just as an example. If you could go to the Muscular Dystrophy Society and invite them, offer to them a discount code, maybe 20% off for members of their organization. In that way, they have an extra reason, because it is a service to their members, an extra reason to help you promote your audiobook and to get the word out about it. So that is one way you can use discount codes. There are lots, but they work especially well in a setting where you've got a group of people and you want to offer something special that is pertinent for that particular group of people. You could do cross promotions with fellow authors or with narrators. So think about who you can connect with that is also serving the same audience or may have a particular interest in reaching your audience. Another thing to keep in mind is that, as I said earlier, we really want to use storytelling instead of hard selling. So sharing that emotional journey of making the audiobook or the book, right? Talk about why the audio matters for your story in particular. Just telling the story of, like, whether it's your audience members who were requesting it, for example, or it may be that you have a family member or a friend that really needed the audio in order to be able to enjoy the content of your book. If they're blind, visually impaired, or have other challenges that may make it impossible for them to read through a text book. So providing the audio would then make this accessible to them. Or to the broader community of those who are visually impaired or have some other challenge that makes audio their only format that they can really use for books. And you can invite listeners into that creative process when you're using storytelling instead of just trying to sell them. So the other thing to keep in mind now is we've done all these different techniques, these approaches. You want to keep that momentum going. After launch week or month, however you're thinking about that, you want to continue to share reviews and listener reactions. And one of the ways that AMPlify makes that easier for you is that in the platform itself, listeners can post reflections about the story as they're listening to it. And you can respond to those reflections as the author or the narrator. So you can then take those interactions and share those in a broader context, for example, on social media or in a newsletter, and share about why that interaction is so meaningful to you. You see how it starts to grow. Each little piece you can utilize to build and grow. And really what you're doing is you're inviting potential customers into the conversation. AMPlify makes that easier for you because you can actually literally engage in conversation. And then some other things to do that will help you with continuing the momentum of your marketing is you can schedule events, live conversations. That's a great way to get more people involved. On AMPlify, when you post an event, it becomes visible to the entire platform, not just to your following. And so it's a good way to be able to open up the doors to more people when you have an event posted on AMPlify Audiobooks. Now, some other things to keep in mind. If you're promoting during, let's say, what might not be considered a holiday season, you can always re-promote during the holidays or during awareness months if it's related to your topic, or based on seasonal themes. It's all, again, depending on your topic. So you can see how there are different ways to approach this re-promotion throughout the year. You can also use a wide release as a second promotional moment later on. I typically recommend when you're launching your audiobook, launch on AMPlify first, because that's going to be the best platform for results. You're going to earn way more from every sale. And all of those people who have just been waiting for the audiobook to arrive, that's where you want them to come first, right? And then, let's say a few months later, you can use a wide release, putting it out on all the other audiobook platforms as an announcement. When you do announce that, I encourage you also to remind them that you prefer that they buy on AMPlify. And the reason is, of course, because you'll be able to earn more, but also connect with them directly. Letting them know the great benefits that they receive. It's not just about helping you. It does help you, but it's not just about that. They have a lot of really great benefits themselves from buying on AMPlify Audiobooks that they don't get anywhere else. Everywhere else, they're just treated like a transaction. But there's so much more than that, and we want to treat them as the people that they are, not just a transaction. So when you are sharing and encouraging people to join you on AMPlify, you can tell them that when they buy there, you are actually earning higher royalties if you think that that may matter to them. I know if someone sent that to me, it would matter to me because I care about authors and want to help them. But it's up to you if that feels important to you or not. You might take a look around and see what your book is selling for on other audiobook platforms. See if you've got yours priced below that. You could change it at any time. So if you want to price it below, and then when you send out your messaging, you can say, hey, this is the least expensive place to get it, and it's still better for all of us. You're still going to earn more, even if you price it less, right? The other thing, too, again, in terms of the listener benefit, is those direct relationships. They can contact you directly right through the platform. So it's a great way for authors and listeners to be able to grow together and build a community. And since you have greater control over promotions and pricing, it gives you a lot of different ways that you can approach what you would like to do and then how you can share that information. Like I was saying, you could price it lower than the competition and then send your listeners there because it's also the best price for them. And they get that community-centered support as well. Let's take just a short pause. I want to come back. We're going to talk about quests, which is a very cool thing that is happening on the AMPlify Audiobooks platform. We'll be right back. Okay, let's get real. Sadly, most authors struggle to reach their full audience and find it almost impossible to earn back their investment in audiobooks. Why? Because standard retailers pay such low royalties and give authors no control or marketing tools. But AMPlify Audiobooks is changing the equation. You earn about triple the royalties compared to standard retailers, and that adds up fast. You have complete control over pricing, access to who your customers are so you can connect with them, mapped out and gamified marketing quests so you always know what's next on your marketing journey. And it's fun. A host of built-in marketing tools to help you reach more people, and a community that's excited to discover and support new voices. All so you can become the successful author you've always dreamed of. So stop whispering into the void and start building real momentum. Amplify Audiobooks, because books should bring us together in ways that help us all thrive. AMPlifyAudiobooks.com. Okay, I want to share with you about quests. We were talking about how valuable it is to know, for authors to know what to do next, because marketing can be challenging. It is so widespread in terms of the possibilities that it can be really hard to really make decisions about and sort of tackle the large beast that it can feel like it is. So we talked about, well, how could we maybe gamify it, make it more fun, and make it easier? So we've done that with quests. So as an author on Amplify Audiobooks, when you go to your dashboard, you'll see that there's a whole bunch of quests, and they will keep growing. The number of quests will keep growing as we expand. And these quests are marketing quests that are focused on a particular outcome. And it's a step-by-step guide through each quest. So when you click on one, you'll see what the list of tasks will be. And then when you choose to start it, you will be led through that full quest, step by step. And within each step, there are step-by-step instructions to make it as easy as possible so that you can succeed with your marketing. So I'm very excited about that, and I'm eager to see how our authors employ those and the results that we're going to be tracking as a result of those quests. And you'll be part of that. So I'm excited for that. With those, we want to really help you drive your marketing forward at a steady pace so that you are continuing to see greater and greater and greater results over time. And you'll know what your results are because you're going to track those results, and we're going to help. Okay. So what I want to say then to wrap us up from this, wrap up the end of this series of the Ultimate Audiobook Launch Strategy, is just remember that the launch doesn't have to feel overwhelming, right? Think community first rather than trying to get everything perfect or have everything figured out. The main thing is that you're taking one step at a time and you keep moving forward. And that's where those quests are going to be so helpful to you. Every time you show up in your dashboard, just see which quest you're in the middle of and take the next step. And it can be as simple as that. So momentum also is coming from that consistency as well as the connections that you're going to be developing through the course of each one. So we want to keep giving listeners a reason to care, a reason to be in the conversation, and to be growing together with us. So I want to thank you so much for being with me during this whole series of the Ultimate Audiobook Marketing Launch Strategy. It's been a joy to have you here with me. And I want to let you know as well that one of the really great values that you get as part of being a member, an author member of AMPlify Audiobooks, is that you get free access to the marketing access calls. This is 1 hour a month of marketing mentorship. You can't get that unto itself at a price like this. And so, but we're happy to include it as part of the AMPlify Audiobooks platform because we want so much for you to succeed and achieve your goals with your audiobook. So join us. And again, thank you for being with me today. Join us at AMPlifyAudiobooks.com. I'll see you over there. Let's get into conversation. Bye for now. Thanks for joining me on Audiobook Connection. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and share it with a fellow book lover or author. Until next time, keep listening, keep creating, and keep connecting.